Hello everybody. I am going to do a geographical analysis of the Trevor Jacob plane crash and show you exactly where this happened and hopefully help you understand some of the context around it. So from some previous YouTube videos, I found out that obviously this has happened north of Santa Barbara, and you can go ahead and watch the plane crash video. Just going to some of the screenshots, when he actually starts to have trouble, you can kind of start to look at the terrain. So he's in the mountains. There's kind of a desert area in the far away. This is what I really keyed into. There's a very bald mountain here, and then another mountain here which is bald on one side with trees on the other. So going to Google Earth, again, your general area is going to be north of Santa Barbara. I knew I was looking in this general area of the Los Padres National Forest. Just zoomed in, looked at a few of the bald areas on the map. I very quickly found these mountains, and we will go back to the plane crash video. Again, one bald mountain and a long ridge, and they kind of converge into one with the drainage. This really matches that, and we'll keep flipping through the video for other clues. Again, you see that. Again, it's very close. Let's change the angle. See if we can kind of line up with the viewpoint of the plane. Let's see here. Okay, it's a bit higher up. So that is definitely it. We can further confirm that by the riverbed, which it shows at some points. So again, when he's falling out of the plane, we can see this riverbed. So you see a zigzagging riverbed, and it takes a very sharp turn to the right. And here's our mountains. So let's just see if that matches up. And yes, again, see that very sharp turn to the right with those bald mountains there. So the plane crash happened somewhere around here. Okay, so he jumps from the plane at this point. Here's our river, here's the mountain. This mountain is actually called, here, let's check the topo map. I believe it's called Bald Mountain. So that's a convenient name. Yeah, Bald Mountain. And here's Bald Mountain Canyon. The river that you see, the riverbed, is the Sisquoc River. It's within the Los Padres National Forest. To the west, it exits the National Forest. Private land is to the west with some ranches. Still very rugged, mountainous terrain, as you can see, to the west. To the east is a massive wilderness area that really goes on for a very long time. YouTube videos of people hiking in that area show it to be very rugged country, lots of rattlesnakes, lots of poison oak, even on trails that you might see on the map. It is rough country, lots of elevation gain, not many people back there. In addition to that, it is a wilderness. This is the San Rafael Wilderness. The wilderness boundary is just to the east. See here, wilderness boundary. So again, here's the general area where he jumps out of the plane and it crashes. And let's just do a quick analysis. So I'm going to say about that far, which is 3.5 miles from the riverbed, the dry riverbed, which you see in the video, which obviously doesn't crash there. He crashes in the hills. to the edge of the wilderness boundary approximately. There is a 4x4 road going to that boundary. Excuse me, that's 3.5 miles to the Forest Service property boundary. Wilderness boundary is probably about half that. There's a 4x4 road that ends there, and then there's some trails. One goes through the Sisquoc River. The other trail actually goes up Hurricane Deck, which overlooks Bald Mountain Canyon. So again, we'll try to zone in on the exact crash spot as we go through the footage. So here he's jumping out of the plane. You kind of see the plane curving around. Looks like it's taking a right-hand turn. It was northbound. Let's see if we can get a good shot. Here's just to confirm the river location. If we go back to this shot, just a quick analysis to really make sure we're correct. We've got kind of within this dry channel, we've got what looks like would be an island when there's water running. Then there's a long straightaway, fairly flat on either side, with a little back channel. Again, let's see if we can see that with the satellite. So I believe this is exactly what we're looking at. So that island, long straightaway, little back channel, island, long straightaway, little back channel. So that's, 99% sure. It's the same spot. Google Earth, again, so there's that spot. So the plane's somewhere above here. I believe it takes a quick right turn and it starts to head up this canyon in between these two mountains. That bald spot on the left, the crash is going to be somewhere in there. Let's keep watching and see if we can figure out maybe exactly where it crashed. So there's the plane. I think it's kind of turning right. Here's the that view that we're seeing there. Yep, exactly the same. It's actually headed in the video, it looks like, towards this knob. I believe it's this knob. Here, let's see if that's correct. Yes, so that's the exact viewpoint. Okay. And we see it going even farther right, so it's likely going to be headed up into this drainage. We'll see how much more evidence he gives us. No, there's a crash. So right here, headed into a small drainage. I believe it's this drainage. Yeah, that would make sense. And it's taking a very sharp right turn there. It's going to be crashing somewhere right in here to the right of that, actually just in here. So I'm going to mark that point. For anybody that's interested, the coordinates there are 34 degrees, 48 minutes, 53.61 seconds north, 119 degrees, 57 minutes, 40.37 seconds west at an elevation of 772 meters. Again, approximate, somewhere in this general area, which is, let me just zoom out, going to be almost directly northwest of Santa Barbara, Los Padres National Forest. And so let's try to see where he lands the plane, where he lands his parachute. Let's just go back into there. So plane's coming in, goes up this drainage somewhere in there, and let's see if he gives any evidence on okay, so here we see him coming towards the same ridge. Looks like he's a little bit farther back. Let's have a another look at that. So you can see the top. He's pretty close though. Yeah, he's coming in somewhere about here. And yeah, obviously a few drainages over. So let's look at what that distance might be, you know, just to give you an idea for the scale. I don't know, let's say something like that. Yeah, so he lands close to the crash site. I mean, here we've got 0.29 miles, 500 yards, 1,500 feet. So let's try to kind of analyze his route out of there. So you go through this footage, and you see the plane here. There's a really telling shot showing kind of the surrounding terrain. So he's saying that he's ending up in cliffs. You know, it's hard to tell on the topo map. If you look, you know, this creek, it certainly is steep and things always look smaller in the map. I don't see any sheer cliffs. He could be trying to get down one of these drainages. It certainly could be true. I don't really know. You know, it's amazing. You look at these topo maps, things look fairly doable. Like all of those slopes look like you could descend down, but in real life, things are often a lot more daunting and large. Again, he's probably crashed around to, let's say, like the 2,600 foot mark, maybe the 2,800 foot mark. The bottom of the creek at about that point maybe is around 2,100, and then the Sisquoc River, you're going down to about 1,400 feet there. So yeah, it's maybe 1,000 feet all the way down this creek bed, which he says he kind of scrambles down for a long time. He somehow gets around the cliff. So then his next thing is he claims he walks out. Here's another good shot. Let's see if we can find kind of where he is. But obviously he's walking to the Sisquoc River, and he's walking. It's definitely, he walks to the west. You go to the east, this is a very large wilderness area. It would take many, many days to get to any sort of road. If you look at accounts of backpacking trips in this area, some people say it's just pretty brutal going down the river. The trails are overgrown. One group recorded going a maximum of 1 mile per hour due to rattlesnakes, poison oak. I know that this crash likely happened in the winter time due to the date he's posted the video, so rattlesnakes wouldn't be an issue in that area likely until April. But yeah, poison oak certainly a thing. Thick, scrubby brush, all of that. And, you know, very likely it could have been dry. I'm not sure about how hot it would have been at the time. Again, we don't have a date that this happened. So, yeah, I believe in that shot, he's looking, is he looking up that canyon? Anyways, he's looking up one of these canyons for sure. But he says he walks out and he gets to a ranch. Let's have a look at that. So again, he's within the wilderness. We said it's about 3.5 miles from when he gets to that river to the edge of the Forest Service boundary. Certainly there are grazing leases within the Forest Service. There's also a ranch right here on the map. So that's 100% plausible. There is a 4-wheel drive road. So it's likely that he came down that Bald Mountain Canyon, which was the really rough canyon, got to the Sisquoc River, and walked to the west until he found somebody. Again, pretty remote area. You can keep zooming out. You know, we've got Santa Maria, California here. We've got this highway running through. let's see if there's any Google Street Views. I know there's a few people that have been taking photos in that wilderness. So here, let's figure out again. So again, the crash happened here. Here's the Sisquoc River Valley. Okay, we don't have any actual 3D views within that area that he would have been in. Here, just for an example, this is, oh, that's some of the terrain. That's a valley bottom. This one's closest to the crash site. Pretty indicative of the terrain, rough scrub brush, etc. But the distances aren't that great. I mean, obviously it's very slow going without a trail if you've ever been in that sort of situation. Elevation, steep slopes. Again, hard to see where he may have been cliffed out. Let's just have one quick look there. One more quick look at the cliff situation. So he was somewhere, and actually in the video you can see these marks here. He was somewhere in here. He probably came down this creek. There may or may not be a cliff there. Doesn't look too steep on the top of the map, but again, there could be short elevation differences that are unaccounted for. So he probably came down this drainage, or maybe one of these other drainages that don't actually show a creek. Then he started going down here, came out here, walked west, found this road, found somebody driving their car. So hopefully, again, that helps people locate the crash site. This is just my take on it. I can't be 100% sure, but I think the evidence speaks for itself. And again, if you want to look up it approximately, here's the coordinates. This is in decimal degrees instead of degrees, minutes, seconds that I read out earlier. So somewhere within probably a few thousand feet of that point is where this happened.